right, Larry Krueger here from Levi's Stadium before practice on a Wednesday for the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show. As we talk a little bit about JT O'Sullivan's quarterback school breakdown on Mac Jones. And of course, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And they do run out, so get there early, get that brisket chili. You're going to love the brisket chili. And this 49er football season is presented by Sleeper, fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chats, season-long leagues, and of course Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry. Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. And thanks to Sleeper and Pig and a Pickle for sponsoring the Krug Show. All right, let's get right to it. Mac Jones looked good this week. 26 of 39 for Jones for 279 yards. He was sacked three times on the day. He threw 3 touchdown passes and no interceptions. So there you go. Mac Jones playing well. And he had a 13-yard run, but Mac Jones in addition, but really I thought a great performance by Jones. And I always love to watch the quarterback school with JT O'Sullivan, because the former NFL quarterback is really, really good at breaking down the NFL and has a good feel for the whole thing. So we're going to just go through and go through some of the stuff that he talked about in this video. And I would, I'm not trying to like undercut JT or anything like, oh, now you don't need to watch it. If anything, I'm trying to highlight what he's doing. We love having him on the show. I think he's one of the best football analysts out there. He sometimes agrees with Shanahan. Sometimes he's critical of the 49ers. He's hardly like a 49er honk. And he's just a guy that really loves football and does a lot of good stuff. So the first play he broke down was a play where Mac Jones hit Ricky Pearsall on the in route. And you see Mac, and he just, as he says, he just ripped it. He just ripped it. It was a small window. It was a great pass play for a first down. You had both backs chipping on the tackles. And on this play, it just shows that, it showed a couple things. One, it showed that, Mac Jones is playing on time and in full rhythm. And on the other hand, it's also showing that he can really take a hit. I mean, this guy can absolutely take a hit. And he did. He took a huge hit on the play, but it showed that he's in time, in full rhythm. The second play they went to was the first touchdown pass on the pass to the tight end pass, and it was kind of like a bang check ball to the flat, and it was a route where Mac Jones, off the naked quarterback keeper, gets the ball out on time to Farrell in the flat, and it was, big people, 22 personnel. It was just a real nice, simple play. Niners had 3 receivers. The Saints had 2 defenders. Mac had his pick, but he made the nice play, and they scored the touchdown. And then there was a play where, the nice thing on that one was on the intricacy of every aspect of the quarterback play. For example, that was a play action pass off 22 personnel. So they faked the handoff to Christian McCaffrey. And on the handoff, Mac goes like two-handed handoff and then carries it out with the one hand while he's got the ball in his other hand. And he really gave it a good 1-count stare down like he would actually do if he were handing off the ball. But instead, he's got the ball, right? So he really holds the play fake, and it really froze the defender so that when he turned around off the bootleg, he's got the defender frozen there. Little things like that are what, that kind of ball handling, that kind of attention to detail kind of shows what Mac Jones is all about. Carried out a beautiful play fake on the handoff at the mesh point. Really, really nice, and it froze the defender and gave him just enough time to get the ball out to Farrell, because Mac's naked on the quarterback keeper on the bootleg action. So it's like if the defender doesn't read run, the quarterback gets smoked for a loss on that play. Then he showed another play where Mac threw with anticipation, really, really well. And I think the point that JT makes about Mac's arm strength, it's not overwhelming, but it's good enough. What would you say about Niner quarterbacks as far as Purdy and Jones? They have requisite, what we would call requisite arm strength. But one of the plays that that JT highlighted was a deep out to Pearsall, and the coverage was tight, and the ball had to come out and be thrown into a pretty tight window, and Jones did it, and he got enough zip on it. We're talking about 12, 15 yards down the field outside the numbers against tight coverage, and that's a great spot to be able to kind of measure arm strength, and Jones has enough arm strength. He zipped it in there on the pass to Pearsall. He also showed that he could throw with some touch and some accuracy when he hit Pearsall off the play action, and Pearsall kind of ran in and ran out, a little counter pass. And for Jones, it just showed he's accurate and he's on time. And on that play, he also took another hit. So, there were a lot of good things to see from Jones. He played on time. He showed accuracy. He wasn't perfect. He had some bad plays. One that JT highlighted was, a 3rd and long play where it was an empty set. Mac threw an incompletion, and it was the ball to MVS that MVS got one hand on. And that was obviously either the receiver ran the wrong route, or the ball wasn't where it was supposed to be, because obviously Mac and MVS were not on the same page there. It was a great anticipation throw by Jones, but as JT O'Sullivan pointed out, when you're a great anticipation thrower like Purdy is and like Jones is, you're going to have some throws that look just awful because you're going to throw them before the break point and the communication's not going to be there. It's unstoppable if you're an anticipation thrower, if you're in lockstep with your receivers and everybody's exactly on the same page. As soon as you are no longer on the same page, your perfect looping pass that was going right to Ricky Pearsall just looks really, really bad. Or in this case, your dagger deep in to MVS. MVS, it was thrown outside. So it was either a bad throw by Mac, it almost was a near interception. Luckily, MVS got one hand on the ball, otherwise it's a pick. MVS saved the interception by getting a hand on the ball. So it was a bad play. Now, was it a bad play on MVS? Was it a bad play on Jones? It's really hard to say. There were a couple throws. There was one where it showed where Mac on a deep out overthrew, the receiver, and I think it was Jennings. He just doesn't quite have Purdy's, consistency and command, and pinpoint, command of the offense. But it was another great anticipation throw by Mac. And that's what he showed really throughout the game against the Saints, is that he can really throw with anticipation. There was another play where he made a really nice throw down the field outside the numbers to Jennings. And it showed, Mac Jones, is a guy he's got a good enough arm to get it in there and make plays down the field. On the touchdown pass to CMC, which was a little delay corner route on 3rd and goal from the 8, Mac once again was on time on the goal line. In the quick game and on the goal line, your accuracy and how you perform really is at a premium, and he was absolutely on time. So I thought that was a nice one. There was another play where it was like he had the deep ball to Pearsall, and it was a good vertical in the 3rd quarter, and Pearsall appeared to slow down and then wound up being overthrown. If he had run the full time, if he had run full the entire time, the entire route, that may have been an absolutely perfect pass. Instead, Pearsall slowed down, and then the throw was wind up being overthrown. That was obviously either another miscommunication or Pearsall, for whatever reason, slowed down. I thought JT did a really nice job highlighting the strip sack. Mac got the strip sack, the only turnover of the game, and so. On the play, what you see is it's a play action pass, and Mac pumps it, and he's basically it's like a 1 hitch, a 2 hitch, and he's clearly waiting for the wide receiver to separate, and he was looking for JJ as the primary on that play, and JJ's just never got any separation, and Mac is just hitching it. It's like, I think it was 4 hitches. And he got decent blocking up front. It wasn't like the rush was on him, but eventually you got to throw that ball, and he did. And I guess the question is, did Mac hold that too long, or was Mac looking for JJ on the play and JJ didn't get the separation? Would you put that on the receiver because the wide receiver separation wasn't there, or do you put that on Jones for hitching 4 times before throwing it? Either way, he held it too long. He got sacked. He lost the fumble. And maybe we'll ask Shanahan about that later on today. Another bad play was the incompletion that Mac threw in. Basically, Mac threw an in-breaker into quarters coverage. Really dicey decision. I mean, you got three Saints defenders all right there. I mean, the guy throws it into a team meeting. He got away with it, but it was an incomplete pass. It easily could have wound up being an interception. There was another one where Mac had a deep open shot on the post to JJ, but he didn't see it. And I don't know if what Shanahan would say about that. That was JJ in the clear, running about 15 yards in the clear, and Jones didn't see it. Now, JT O'Sullivan goes through all the possibilities on the play, which is why you should need to watch the video. But it was interesting. You could when you're watching this, the first thing you're going to see is, whoa, he had JJ up top on almost like a broken play. He was so wide open, and Jones didn't see him. Another play that I thought was great that JT highlighted was CMC running a 20-yard comeback on a 3rd and long play, and Jones making this great anticipation throw on time, and just a beautiful connection from Jones to CMC. And then the line did a fantastic job to stand up that long and to give him time. The 20-yard comeback is a long developing play, and you have to have good pass protection. And then on the touchdown pass from Jones to Jennings, it was really, really nice. Saints were playing cover 2, and Mac threw just a perfect dime right over the Saints' second level defenders to Jennings. And then Jennings has the run to the corner, to the pylon for the touchdown. Sweet yards after the catch and run after the catch. Really a nice throw by Mac. And the key, I think, on that is he showed decisiveness. And I think that was another trait that you saw throughout the performance from Jones. He wasn't just on time and accurate. He was decisive in what he wanted to do. And when you're decisive like that, you're occasionally not going to see a late developing JJ down the field that looks like, oh, why didn't he see that? Well, because he was sped up, he was making decisions, he was being decisive, he was taking what the defense gave him. I thought it was a really good performance by Mac Jones on the road against a Saints defense that has some big time talent up front. Granderson off the edge, Cam Jordan off the edge. He threw with anticipation, he threw with accuracy. He's not as precise as Purdy. He doesn't have that second level movement ability that Purdy has to escape. So there's a whole element of Purdy's game that Brock brings to the table that Mac didn't. But the O-line did a nice job in this game. There were times that the receivers didn't get the kind of separation. That's what I'd love to see Jordan Watkins and Jacob Cowing in this offense, because what would the Niner quarterbacks look like with this play design and this accuracy and this level of timing if their receivers got separation down the field like Watkins potentially can, like Demarcus Robinson potentially can, like Jacob Cowing potentially can. So I think looking ahead, just looking at this film and the breakdown, I think when the Niners can put some more speed on the field and get more wide receiver separation, you're going to see big play ability in this offense. And then the other thing that came out, and JT talked about it a lot, is CMC was so special in this game, in the passing game. He's just such an elite route runner. And you mix in his hands, his route running, the play design of Shanahan, and quarterbacks like Purdy and this week Jones, who can play on time and operate with precision, you're looking at something that is really, really hard to stop. So I loved it. Week 1, they ran CMC a lot. Week 2, they took a little bit of the physical load off of his shoulders by throwing him the ball, but he was a huge force in both wins in week 1 and in week 2. Week 1 as a runner, week 2 as a receiver. And just to see some of the ways that CMC can win as a receiver, it was awesome to watch. All right, great stuff. I would encourage all of you guys, check out QB School. JT O'Sullivan does an amazing job. We're going to go check out Kyle Shanahan, and then the locker room, and then practice. Working. The grind continues Wednesday down here in Santa Clara. Thanks to Pig in a Pickle. Thanks to Sleeper. Thanks for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.